Hi, it's Tony Antonio here from F11 Workshops and TonyAntonioPhotography.com. I just wanted to give you a quick workflow of how you may perhaps overcome a color cast in your images, especially when you're using something like a neutral density filter. You quite often see color casts appear. Here's an example of one I shot with a 10-stop filter from Tiffin. And you can see there's a kind of blue tint to the image which isn't really realistic of how the scene was in front of me. It's a 26-second exposure, fairly long, ISO 50. So let's take it into Photoshop, and I can use the shortcut Command D, and that will take it into Photoshop for us and see what we can do to correct this. So give it a second here and it should go straight over with any luck. And here we go. So we've got our background image. The first thing we need to do is apply a new layer, and we can fill that layer with 50% grey, shift backspace, and we can choose 50% grey here. Now once we do that, we need to change the blend mode into something we don't use quite well as often as maybe the other blend modes, but this one is difference. And what we can see here is an image which looks terrible, but what it's showing us, the dark points in this image that we see, so in these areas here and here, are as close to 50% grey as we can get. So in other words, we can utilize this information to our advantage, and what we can do is bring up a threshold adjustment layer, and we take this pointer all the way to the left. Now if we slowly bring it up, this will find the darkest point in the image. So the darkest point in the image, because we have the 50% grey layer with a difference blend mode, will actually show us the closest point to 50% grey in our image. In this instance, you can see it's in the in these sections over here. So if we zoom right in, we can go right in there, and now we can choose the color picker tool and just sample that area. If you don't have it, you can either use this drop down arrow, or you can press Shift I until you get it, and click on that area, and you can see we've chosen that area and it's marked out with a number 1. Now we can get rid of these. Now we're done with them. All we're interested really is this little fella here marked as number 1, because what we're going to do with it is now apply a curves layer using the grey sampler tool. So if we sample that area, then boom, did you see that change? Let's zoom out. That's the image we now have. That's before, that's after, before and after. You can see from the curves layer it's shifted the blue channel down, raised the red and the green channel up slightly to give a true representation of what the scene looked like in front of me without the color cast. I hope you found that useful, and look out for some more tips and tricks coming soon.